Thank you, Lord. I want to thank you, Lord. I want to thank you,
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the live. We are down here today to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Give me 1 second, and I need to cut something off. All right, done deal. All right, you guys, thank you for coming down here and joining me tonight or this evening as we get ready to get into the Love and Marriage Huntsville of it all. Good evening, Symmetry. Thanks for coming down to the live. Y'all, I had laid down and take a nap and almost didn't get up when the alarm went off. It has been a Monday. I went to work. I was like, let me get me a 15, 20-minute nap before the live starts. You know, once you start that, you really don't want to stop. Yes, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Had a long weekend, a joyous weekend. I was out at the lake with my siblings, cousins, and a family friend, and we had a wonderful time. But I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I didn't take the day off, so I had to go to work this morning. But I'm here. I'm here. Fair use disclaimer. Some material used in this video used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107. Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. And today we're going to be doing some commentary and some criticism. I only have some pictures, I believe, to show today. Please comment, get in the comments, and let's chit chat. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Shanna, how are you? Give me a sec. Let me grab some water. We got to get this started. I actually went back through and watched Love and Marriage again this afternoon. This episode was pretty deep, and I wanted to do it justice, and I don't know if I even did that. If I got enough notes to do it justice, because I don't want to take up an hour of your time, but normally we're down here for an hour anyway. Hey, Living for Me 75, thank you for joining the live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, good evening, Shayna. Good evening, Symmetry and Shayna and Living for Me and all of you guys that are sitting in the bushes. Please thumbs up this live. Please, 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 and thank you. If you're new here, please subscribe. I love new subscribers. I hopefully am bringing you content that you enjoy. And if there's something you want me to do that I'm not doing, bring it to my attention, and maybe we can get it on the list of things to do and to knock out. Y'all, I am out of order because I have not done Bell Collective, and neither have I watched the show yet. So I am going to definitely watch Bell Collective this evening, and well, it may watch me, but I will get the review up and going tomorrow. But I'm out of order. As you know, yesterday we did a live Married to Medicine. It was great. I'm gonna go back through and do a recap on Married to Medicine, and of course, Queen Script and I will be doing our 5 people from Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know if there's even 5. I don't think we will have 5 this week, but we're going to still do it because we are committed to doing it. We said we do it on Monday. I have not gotten with her on people, but I will tomorrow so that we can get that together and get that done. Again, I don't know if there was 5 people that will make it on this week's list, but we there was at least 5 people that we saw. If you notice on Love and Marriage Huntsville, we haven't seen Martell since this is episode 3, so we haven't seen him since episode 1. We just saw him last week, and he wasn't on this week. Wonder where old Martell's hide. Where are you, Marty Mark? Come on out, wherever you are. Anyway, Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 11, episode number 3, Motor City, Here We Come, was the title of the episode. Scene 1, the episode opens with Ken and Trisha. They're at Dr. Francis's office, and they're talking about their relationship. Child, when I say they are draining, I don't know. I don't know if I got anything out of that, but I'm going to go with what my notes say. Ken said, it's time to throw me under the bus. You would do it, but when it's time for you to defend me, you don't. Baby, cry me a river. Cry me a river. Just cry me a river. Go ahead, Ken. Cry me a river. I don't know. I just was not feeling it. Wasn't feeling the victim mentality. I wasn't feeling none of that at all. I wasn't feeling it. So, child, maybe Ken really feels that way. Maybe he feels like that whenever Tisha wants to throw him under the bus, she does it well. When she wants to do, I don't know what that was about. I don't know if that was referring to the fact that Letitia said that someone said he was in their DMs. I don't know. But I tell you what, it doesn't even matter because it was weird. Trisha said they both have anger issues. Yeah, I don't know about that one either. I don't know because I don't know what that looks like for either one of them. They both had me like, what? You said Ken was like, yes. Ken was really getting there. Now I saw some anger coming out of him, but Trisha, I don't know what her. I've seen her with Marquez and her anger with him, but I don't know, child. They got their dynamic is different. Ken said he don't understand Trisha's lies because she lies over the simplest things, the little minute things. He said her lies aren't that deep, was his wording. Dr. Francis told them that he wanted them to say what attracted them to each other because I think Dr. Francis felt like I did. He was sick of hearing it. So Trisha said that she thinks that Ken is a great guy. That he's a good person. And they used to have a lot of fun. And she wants to go back to having fun with him. The kids love him, and so does she. And let's get it back together. Let's get on track. And Dr. Francis asked Ken the same thing. And Ken said he misses those exact same things. He said that Trisha said that she wasn't going to argue with him anymore. She said it just like that. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. But she said it under her breath, so Dr. Francis said it loudly so everyone could hear it. Dr. Francis said that Trisha and Ken are going to have to get it together for the kids. Hey, Pretty Riri speaks. Otherwise, the kids are going to leave the house looking for something safe out there with someone else. And I totally agree with that. Your home has to be a safe place. It should be a safe place. Then Dr. Francis gave them some homework, and they both made promises to each other. Moving right along, because honey, scene number 2 opens up with Destiny, and she's narrating the story, right? So we're getting into some feelings, and she's setting the tone. Destiny opens up and she says, last night we arrived to my hometown, Detroit. This trip is going to be really emotional. And I knew then that she was setting up the stage for, let me remove this because I don't think she's acting as a victim. She was setting the stage for something that was going to be really serious just by the tone of her voice. Destiny says connecting with her siblings that she has never met is really important. And I can imagine that. Destiny said she was 4 or 5 when the police took her away from her mother. And she said that was the last time that she lived with her. She never lived with her mother after she was 4 or 5 years old. She didn't give us an exact age, but 4 or 5. Destiny's mother has 6 other children besides Destiny and her brother Terrell, who has since passed on. It took over 10 years for Destiny to find her siblings, and all of Destiny's siblings were adopted into great families. This is information that Destiny told us. Um, we see Destiny at a hotel because she's already kind of set the stage. We see her at a hotel. She comes out. She has her hair wrapped. She has on a pair of pajamas. And we see a young lady sitting on the sofa next to her with a Madonna t-shirt on. And she tells us this is her sister, and her sister's name is Paula. And if you looked at her sister, they bear a lot of resemblance. And then in the same instance, they don't look a lot alike. They have a lot of facial features alike. You could tell that they probably are sisters, but you could tell there's something else mixed in there as well. Good evening, all in unity. Thanks for joining. Um, she tells us her sister's name is Paula, and that she recently met her sister, and her sister's going to go along with Destiny to meet up with her other siblings. But as I begin to watch it, it really looks as though Destiny was bringing her sister to meet the other siblings because the other siblings had already met mom, the grandmother, and the other family members in Detroit. But apparently Paula had not. And I'm not even sure where Paula was from because we didn't go into all those details. Destiny said that her nerves were bad, just thinking about today's events, what was ahead of them. And I can understand that because honest to God, Destiny is always given pretty cool under pressure, but something about being in Detroit made her look nervous. She looked nervous. We see Kimmy and Tisha. They knock on the door to Destiny's room, jokingly saying it's room service. They let him in. They came down, of course, to go to Pontiac and meet with Daddy Scott, and his best friend. But we also see that she's also there for Destiny. Destiny tells Tisha and Kimmy that every year her grandmother would post photos on Facebook of her siblings and give her personal phone number out, asking people if they knew of them to give her a call. And that was her way of searching for her grandchildren. I thought that was kind of heartfelt. Her grandmother had searched for 27 years for these children. Tisha asked Destiny if she was going to see her mother, and Destiny got really, really quiet. Got quiet. And at one moment, it looked like she was getting ready to get emotional. And Kimmy asked her, what does that look for? And you know what? It's crazy that Tisha and Destiny are in this weird spot because Kimmy didn't pick up on it. And she's a nurse. So I don't know why she didn't. But Tisha picked up on the fact that Destiny was getting emotional. And I thought, hey, that's what friends do. We notice when our friends, something's not right. Kimmy asked, again, like I said, what was that look for? And Destiny explained that sometimes she has an expectation from her mom, and then her mom lets her down. And you could tell that absolutely was not what Destiny wanted. She really wanted to make a connection and for her mom not to embarrass her on TV. That was one thing for sure. She wanted her mom to really, really be able to sit down, have the conversation, and maybe answer some questions that was needed. Because Destiny said herself that her mother has yet to answer questions for her. All in Unity said Destiny and her family episode was so emotional for me. It was so touching. It was for me too. I've watched it. Today will make my third time watching it. I watched it on Saturday night while I was, of course, at a boathouse, a lake house. And it's hard to hear when you have 10 other people yelling and screaming around you and a baby that's downstairs making noise. It was just a lot going on. So I didn't really get a chance to focus. But when I got home last night, I watched it again with nobody here but me and my husband. So it's quiet. And then I watched it again this afternoon. And it was touching every time I watched it. I really believe it was a great episode. I enjoyed seeing Destiny's family. I wanted to see her storyline. I wanted to see more about Destiny. A lot of people wanted to see the husband situation. I didn't really want to see that. I really wanted to see who was Destiny. Who is this lady? What is she about? And to be honest with you, I really want to explore more about Granny. I really want to explore a lot about the grandmother. because the grandmother, although we'll get into that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So let's keep going. Um Destiny explained that she was the only one out of all of her siblings who had actually been raised by their mom in some capacity, and all of her other siblings had been adopted, which I'm not sure why Granny didn't try to keep them. Maybe it was too much for her, but they all were adopted out at some point. They all went out for adoption. All in Unity said, I truly appreciate this episode about Destiny and her family. I do too. Because it actually helps you put pieces together as to why Destiny is who she is. You know what I mean? Um, Destiny said the initial meeting with her grandmother was going to be intimate because Kimmy and Tisha asked her, how can we be there for you? And she told them, she said, this initial meeting is going to be intimate. So they respected that, and we'll just go to Pontiac, spend some time with the Scotts, but we're here when you're ready and when you need us. And I really appreciate them for being that. Destiny had her sister Paula with her, which kind of, I believe, helped Destiny navigate this storyline with her other family. But I believe if she had not have had Paula, she would have needed either Tisha or Kimmy to go with her. Because she definitely needed that support. If someone didn't walk away from this episode touched, something is wrong with them. Symmetry, I totally agree with you. Y'all, please thumbs up the video if you don't mind. Please get me out there in the algorithm, and let's keep getting these subscribers growing. Please, please, please. In the next scene, we see the Scotts 1.0 and 2.0 in a hotel suite talking, and Marceau says that he was feeling emotional thinking about Destiny meeting up with her family, y'all. And Marceau's always cracking jokes, but he was like, no, seriously, I am feeling emotional thinking about this, because I'm gonna tell you something. If you've grown up, Mark, we're finding more out about the Scotts, that their father was in prison when they were growing up. And I really believe that if you've had any type of abandonment issues, that you could kind of, and even if you haven't had abandonment issues, I believe if you possess empathy, you should have been able to actually feel the emotions, because they were really raw and true emotions that Destiny was exhibiting. All of Unity said, yes, Symmetry. I was truly crying. It was a great episode, very touching, very heartfelt, and it was pulling at heartstrings for sure. That Marceau said he was thinking about himself being in that position and how hard it would be. He said if it were him, he wouldn't want anyone around. He was talking to Kimmy and Tisha. I wouldn't want you guys around. I want to experience that, and probably not even the cameras, because that is an experience that is really tough. And I respect Destiny for going to talk. She knows her mother. She knows her mother's behaviors. And I think she was kind of expecting her mother to behave the way she did. But at the end, I believe she was expecting a different response and still not getting that. And there is this poem that Maya Angelou actually taught, I think, says, who will cry for the little boy? And I think that can go for girls as well. Who will cry for the little girl who was abandoned by her mother, who experienced all the hurt, the rejection? And I believe that may have been where Destiny was. But I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. We're gonna go scene by scene. And then after Marceau said that, Kimmy mentions her experience going through breast cancer and how she didn't know who people didn't know if they should come around, but yet she didn't even really know how to embrace her friends when they did come around. The Scotts are getting ready. They're going to go to Pontiac and they're going to meet up with their family. I feel really congested for some reason all of a sudden. The next thing, we see Destiny in a car being driven through the streets of Detroit. And she looks super nervous. We see her digging in a bag. I saw her take out some body butter from Stormy and rub it in her hands. She really looked nervous. We see her with her sister's in the passenger seat. And Destiny said that she's glad that Paula's with her because the one thing that she had experienced since her brother had passed away, she felt really, really lonely and alone in this world. So finding her siblings kind of made her feel complete. It made the world feel complete for her. Paula has never met any of her siblings or her mom. So, of course, this was the first time she was going to get to do that. Destiny was calling Paula PJ. Destiny said she felt like it was important to be able to give the attention that she needs to her newfound siblings and balance them meeting with family members. Destiny said she believes this is what big siblings do. Um, she believed this is what she should be doing as a big sister. I'll just put it like that. I'm reading through my notes, but I really want to put it that way just so it's clarified. She really felt like that was the role of a big sister, and her not really be ever knowing or being in that position to be the big sister, but knowing that she did have siblings that she was the oldest sister of. I really believe that she is going to fit that role perfectly, and I hope with God's prayers that Destiny is able to help her siblings be able to navigate this newfound sibling circle that they have. We see that there are two brothers. There's Alan, Jesse, and she had a brother named Terrell, who is, like I said, passed on. So we know that there's brothers in this group, and Alan was super tall, and Destiny's pretty tall for a lady, but Alan is really, really tall. They meet up at a place called Bell Social Club, and it must be an event center because they had a sign that says to rent call blah 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 blah. So it must be an event center. Destiny walks into a room full of people, and Destiny said it felt good to see people who look like her. Um, she said we share the same DNA and the fat cheeks. And if you notice, Destiny does have really high cheekbones. We see Destiny's grandmother. She begins to cry. She saw Paula. Apparently, she had been speaking to Paula on the phone, but this was the first time she had an opportunity to meet Paula. And then we meet Jonelle. Jonelle, that's the first person that we actually she's actually talking. And Jonelle is Destiny's aunt. She is her mother's sister. And Destiny favors Jonelle a lot. I mean, a lot, a lot. Jonelle mentions how Rhonda Joe, which is Destiny's mother, would post picture. I'm sorry. Janelle mentions how her mother, which is Miss Annie, what's her name? Annie Mae. Miss Annie Mae Sears. She mentions how her mother would post pictures on Facebook with her phone number asking people to call if they knew of the kids' whereabouts. We see Aunt Destiny has another aunt there named Joanne, who Destiny also favors. When I say they look alike, they all favor in some way, shape, or fashion. Jonelle said that their mother, Annie Mae Sears, had a telephone number, and that number led them to finding Paula. And with Destiny's persistence, she didn't give it a rest. She found out the rest of her children. The rest of her siblings, her mother's children. She just wouldn't stop. Destiny kept on till she found them. And I am so proud of Destiny because so many people stop. They hit a roadblock and they stop. And it's unfortunate that some do stop, but I'm proud of Destiny for being persistent and not stopping. Janelle talks about Rhonda Joe and how beautiful of a woman she was. And she kind of takes them down memory lane about their mother. She said that the mother belonged to a motorcycle club. Um, Joanne said that the mother wore mini skirts, that she was a really pretty lady, and she said she was the deal. She was the deal. So they show pictures of Rhonda Joe, a younger Rhonda Joe, with this is Destiny and this is Terrell. Terrell, I guess, was the oldest, and at this time, but as you see, Rhonda was really a pretty woman, really, 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 really beautiful lady. And she told her that, that her mother worked in different bars. And Destiny said, yeah, that's where my dad said he met her at, that she was singing in a bar. Um, I'm sorry, I don't want to. You said right. I'm glad they wanted to actually meet her. I'm still looking for two. Sometimes, yeah, yeah. I got you. Living for me, and you know what? Take your time. Let the Lord lead you. Don't give up, because if it's right for you to do it, it will fall in line. Trust me. Same lady where I'm so proud of Destiny. I am too, because you know it is hard, I'm sure, to know that you have siblings out there and they know nothing about you and you really don't know anything about them. And they all seem to be pretty young. If the grandmother's been looking for them for 27 years, then the youngest must be like 27, which would probably be Paula. And then the rest would be upwards from 27. Um, Janelle says she prays for her sister daily because she got caught up in a time where drugs first came out. Girls, your sister ain't got caught up when drugs first came out. Drugs been out a long time. She just probably got caught up during the epidemic, the epidemic of the 90s. And her aunt also said only the strong survive that epidemic. Janelle said it was the best decision that Rhonda Jo could have done was to give up her children and not raise them, because there's no telling where the kids would be. There was Jesse, Paula, Alan, and Nisha. So we met Paula. She was there originally. Jesse was out of the guys. I think he had on a hat. Alan was a little rough. His beard was a little rough. His hair wasn't as trim. He had a little small afro, but they seemed very nice kids, like very, very nice. And we met Nisha as well. Nisha and Destiny look more like than Destiny and Paula. Nisha and Destiny look like they are sisters. Like there's no denying it. They look like sisters. Rhonda Jo said she basically didn't want to bring her kids into that lifestyle, is what Nisha told them. And Destiny said knowing that her mother had a beautiful life before her addiction was good to know, but also sad at the same time. And I totally agree, because you think this person had a good life and they were doing well, then all of a sudden they met something or something happened to them, or they became addicted to something that actually took all of that happiness away from them, which is really, really, again, sad. Destiny asked her siblings if they wanted to go with her to meet their mother, and Paula said she didn't mind. Jesse was a strong no. He said no, I don't want to see her. And Destiny asked if you mind if I ask you why, and he said that he just didn't feel like he needed to meet her. He had nothing to say to her for real. And Destiny said, I have to respect that. He set some boundaries, and that's okay. And you know what? I put in my notes that this scene was so sad, because you have people here who have a mother who is alive. She is an addict. It clearly is an addict, clearly. And the sad part is that some want to meet her and some don't. Because I guess being an adopted child could be hard. And knowing that your mother gave you away. Sometimes they feel as though I wasn't wanted. She didn't want me. I want to meet my siblings because they're in the same position I was in. But this woman who gave birth to me, she didn't want me. So she just threw me to the wolves. And who knows what Jesse's life was like. Now, Destiny said they were adopted into good families. But who knows what his life was like? Maybe even before he became an adoption. Sorry, before he was adopted. And we don't know. We don't know. But he clearly harbors some type of I don't like Rhonda Jo. Yes, they all resemble each other to me. They all did look alike. They all had those high cheekbones. They all had those features. I'm happy that his boundaries are being respected. Me too. Me too. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. The next scene, the Scotts are headed to Pontiac, and they drive past a place where Maurice had laid some sod. If you know sod, sod is grass. And Maurice said he loves going down. I'm sorry, Marsol said he loves going down memory lane. He said that this is what built them. And Marsol said even when he is telling them things that different things in history, things he remembers, he said he's really just talking out loud because he's really talking to himself. And you know what? I don't know why that kind of touched me a little bit, because Just think about when you walk down memory lane. I don't know what Michigan holds for Marsol and Maurice, but I'm gonna tell you this. When they were driving, I watched Marsol with his head stuck in that window, almost childlike. Almost childlike, as though who would cry for the little boy. And as he talked about his different experiences in Pontiac, he said, there are so many things that we forgot, and that really shaped us. That's what he said. Marcel said, it's like, what would you say to that little boy today? And I really, I felt that because, again, as they were driving through the streets of Pontiac, he was looking out the window just almost in amazement. Almost in amazement. Tisha asked them if they learned construction from their uncle, Uncle Rick, or their dad. And Maurice said that they were always on some project with their dad. They made it very clear that they learned construction from their dad. Maurice said one thing, Marsal said one thing he could say about his dad was his work always looked professional when he did it. And I really truly believe that, because he made the comment saying that Uncle Rick helped develop, this is what Marsal said, Uncle Rick helped develop that eye for that details, those fine details, for the tools to do the right job. And I believe all of that helped them create who they are, or who Marsal is. And I think Marsal probably respects that more because he is actually in construction. But don't get it twisted. Marsal has a master's degree, so don't get it all twisted. He's intelligent, and he does construction work because there's money in construction. They still building houses and apartments and all the fun things every single day. Trust me. They're headed to their Uncle Rick school. So apparently Uncle Rick has a school where he teaches men the trade of construction. And maybe Martell should have went to this school so he could have passed that board exam years ago, but moving right along. Marsal said, as long as you have a trade, you will have a job. And I believe that. I believe if you have a trade, you will always have a job. Uncle Rick is Maurice and Marsal's dad's best friend. It said that on the little screen there. So we don't want to get Uncle Rick mixed up with being family. He is his dad's best friend. The Scotts are excited to meet their family. We see Dad Scott, Uncle Rick, at Uncle Rick's construction school. Kimmy notices that Dad Scott isn't engaging with them, and the camera's noticing it too, because his eyes are rolling in the top of the ceiling, rolling on the floor, rolling around the room every time Uncle Rick says something. So I'm not sure what that was about. If Dad may have a little bit of resentment towards Uncle Rick, I'm not really sure what was going on. Like I said, Dad Scott wasn't engaging with the Scott brothers as they talk to Uncle Rick, and she wants to know why. The next scene, Destiny's going to meet up with her mom. Here we go. This is where it really gets rough and it gets tough. She has 3 of her newly found siblings. Now, Destiny said there were 6 other siblings. There was 4 at the venue that they met up at, so they gave them 6. But apparently there's 2 more somewhere else that did not show up. If my memory served me correctly, she said there was 6 other siblings besides her and Terrell. Let me make sure I wrote that down correctly. She said, yes, there's 6 other siblings besides her and Terrell. So her and Terrell are the oldest, and then there's 6 others. Sorry. So we only saw 4, but only 3 decided to go with her to meet the mom. That was Nisha, Paula, and Alan. Destiny says she's overwhelmed. You could tell she was nervous. She was sitting there, but you could see the nervousness all over her face. Destiny has reservations about sharing her mother and her mother's story with the world. And I understand why. Because if you don't want people to experience what you've experienced, the rejection, someone needing something from you. So she said she had a lot. This is a lot to bring to TV. She said she thought about not doing it, But she said that she's done the work to heal herself, and she thought this was time. So I'm glad. This was a huge decision for Destiny. This wasn't something I don't think she did lightly. I think this was very, very huge for her. So we really, really have to respect that with her. We see Rhonda Jo arrive and come in. She's very, very thin, really small lady. And believe it or not, Destiny notices that. She said, she's always been small, but she's never been this thin. Me too, Symmetry. I'm so proud of her. So proud of Destiny for making the decision to move forward with her healing. Because I've seen a lot of people say, oh, she was using her mom, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. At the end of the day, this is also Destiny's journey. This is also Destiny's story. Whether we like it or not, whether it's pretty, whether it's ugly, this is her story. This is her life. We're not talking about anybody else's life. She's talking about her own life. This is her reality, and it's not pretty. And a lot of people's realities are not pretty. A lot of people's backgrounds are not pretty. So allow her to have this moment to give her reality and shut up and just watch it. Okay? Thank you. Moving right along. Destiny introduces Rhonda to Paula, and she says, oh, I don't know what to say. I haven't seen you since birth. Not the you crazy. Then she says, but you look just like me. Rhonda then tells Paula that she looks just like her dad. And your dad, he just died recently. When I say Paula has zero mother's intuition, zero. And Destiny said, I would think that she would show a little grace, be a little more empathetic, but child, not Rhonda Jo. Rhonda Jo was ready to get right to the punch. Let's get down to it, is what they did. Destiny asked her mother if she remembered when she and Terrell were taken away. And Destiny said that they saw her when they were leaving the neighborhood. And her mother mentioned, well, you said you were in a patrol car. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but she said while we were driving, she said, we told them, hey, there goes our mama. And they just kept driving. Can you imagine that being the memory that you have as a child, being taken away from your mom, is that you're trying to tell the police, hey, there's our mama, there's our mama. And they keep driving. No one stops. But this lady is your mama, and no one comes to get you. Well, I gave you to your grandmama. Oh my goodness. That is tragic. That is tragic. Anyway, Rhonda says that the life she was living, that she just couldn't have them in that. She said, not that I didn't want you. She said that anything could have happened to her. If anything happened to them, then it would have been on her. Let's say selfish, super selfish, narcissist selfish, just selfish. So she said, I gave you to my mama, and I thought that would be enough. They gave her more leeway to mess up, not having children around. So they gave her the freedom to go out here and do this and that and that and this. This were her words. I'm not putting this in her mouth. This is what the mama said. She said her kids was already being taken care of, so why not enjoy your life, girl? She also said she felt like she had nothing to live for a lot of time. And Destiny says that in her confessional, she said, I struggle with my mom making the right decisions because the right decision would have been to get clean and get your kids. Rhonda Jo then says, I don't know how y'all feel, but y'all can express it. Y'all can express how you feel. It's okay. But when Destiny got ready to express it, baby, we found out it wasn't okay. Destiny, you don't have anything you want to say to any of us? That's what she asked Rhonda Jo. Rhonda says, what am I supposed to say? And then she says, hi, children. You got something you want to say to me? Destiny says, I think I have said enough. Rhonda Jo said, you made some promises, and then I called you and said, I don't know. She said, then I called you, and you said, I don't know what you're talking about. Destiny looks at her mom with a puzzled face, and she says, I made you some promises? And Rhonda says, so I don't care, Destiny. Look, I'm not going to go through this emotional roller coaster that I'm already going through. When I tell you Rhonda was putting on for that camera, some of it was, and some of it just wasn't making sense. So Destiny says, what promises did I make you? And Rhonda Joe responds, nothing. Destiny responds, exactly. Rhonda Joe says, right. Then Destiny says, because I didn't make you any promises. Rhonda Joe says, you're lying. Rhonda Joe says, yeah, you said, yeah, I will come help you when I told you I was going through my stuff. Yeah, I'll come help you. I talked to you over several days. And Destiny said, and what did you do? Rhonda Joe then says, what did I do about what? Destiny said, you went back and got on the streets. Rhonda Joe said, I can't remember. I'm not on those streets. I live in a house. Destiny said, whatever. And then Rhonda Joe says, you got your reality show. You're doing you and take this part in real deep. And your daddy. Okay, now we're getting down to what her real problem is with Destiny. So leave me alone, is what she told Destiny. Destiny says, I got it. You're right. Rhonda Joe said, thank you. You're doing you and your daddy. It's about you entirely. It ain't about me. You got all this money. Can you help your mama? No. You see, I think a lot was edited out because she jumped straight into the promises. I don't know, just my opinion, but I'm also proud of Destiny. Me too, Shayna. And I also think a lot was edited out. But child, the part that was left in was wild. Because baby, she took us on a long goose chase. And I'm like, what in the world? Where was I at? Okay. Destiny said, what do you want me to help you do? And Rhonda Joe said, give me an apartment and I'll pay my own rent. I got my own income. You got all this money. So, girl, do you have income or not? Because now we got questions. Destiny got all this money, but you got your own income. So can you pay your rent or not? Why does Destiny need to come to Detroit and get you an apartment anyway if you got your own income? Moving right along. Anyway, Destiny says, see what I'm talking about? The entitlement. Rhonda Joe says, look, what did you do or anything else? I say it was getting wild. It was getting wild. Destiny looks up. She says, Tammy, we're out. That's a wrap. I'm done. Paula tells Rhonda Joe, it was nice to meet you. Rhonda Joe says, it was nice to meet you as well. Zero mother instincts. When I say zero, zilch. None. None. Destiny says, thank you for coming. We're done. Next we go to the next scene. We see Tisha and Kimmy talking to Daddy Scott. They ask him how he was doing today, and he said, pissed, but good. They asked him why he was pissed. He said it was family business. Baby, I would have left right then. I would have said, okay, moving along. Let's talk about something else. Tisha said, we are family. Daddy Scott said, well, one thing is for sure. Once you say it, you can't unsay it. When I say this story was wild, just like Rhonda Joe over there. So I'm not quite sure what was going on. Good evening, Sam Baby Doll. Yeah, I didn't know where that story was going. Yeah, that's also confusing. Where Mama Rhonda's Mama Rhonda living at now? LOL. Child. She said a house. I don't know. When I say they left me shaking my head like what in the world is happening here, I have no idea. We're back on Daddy Scott. Daddy Scott said, well, one thing's for sure. Once you say it, you can't unsay it. Once you do it, you can't undo it. He says he lives by that. Kimmy tells him that they love hanging around Daddy Scott and how he makes sure that everyone gets some time with him. And Daddy Scott said it took him a while to come to that. He thought work was the most important thing in the world, kind of like his sons. And when he said that, I kind of thought, is he talking about Marceau? And I guess he was, because he said that he thought work was most important. And I put in my notes, I guess he's referring to Marceau. A lot of times, work becomes the other woman. That's what he said. Then you lie to yourself saying, well, at least I'm making money. He then says when his children were younger, he would never do the little small things, but then he would try and show up for the major things. Then he said he went away to the state He was this, how do you say it? Anyway, I'm going to make it plain and cut to the chase. When he went to prison, he asked his kids why they didn't write him. And he said, Marceau said they didn't know him. He said he responded, he responded with, we are related without a relationship. And I thought that was really, that should hit home for a lot of people. You're related without a relationship. When I say we could see the calmness and the need to cry in Destiny's face, it broke my heart. It definitely did. It definitely, and this wasn't the end. I'm gonna tell you what really broke my heart. I'm going to say it in just a minute. It was the drugs talking the whole time. Rhonda Jo is not living in the same reality as her family at all. All in unity, at all. Definitely. This lady wasn't making sense, number one. Even throughout that conversation, even if they edited some, there was so much that she was saying that wasn't making sense. I'm sorry. Just wasn't making sense. I can literally hear Marceau saying that though. Me too. Profound. Thank you, Symmetry. I thought it was too. So I put that I made sure I highlight that. He responded with, we were related with no relationship. He couldn't get mad at him or get upset because Marceau had told him the truth. Kimmy told Daddy Scott, you say some good stuff. Was there an age that clicked for you? And he responded with, I effed up enough. When it takes you some time to sit down there, I guess he's talking about being in prison, and be with yourself, it makes a difference. Kimmy said, this is like good stuff. He said that he didn't have a good relationship with his father because they had, Tisha asked him, she said, did you have a good relationship with your dad? And he said, you mean Genesis 2? Child. Let me move on because that's a whole nother story. So that meant he did not have a good relationship with his dad. He said he was trying to break that cycle of the bad relationships because she began to talk to him about the grandkids. He started talking about the grandkids. Daddy Scott said, I'm sorry. Teacher said, once time is gone, you can't get it back. And then Daddy Scott responded. He said he had been living vicariously through his grandsons. He said at their graduation party, he sat back and he thanked God for the opportunity to see all the stuff that was going on. He said it was good to just be present. Daddy Scott said his goal is to spend more time with his family. Moving on to the next scene, we see Destiny outside talking with her sister, the sister Nisha. She tells us in her confessional that she feels like she is a reminder to her mother of the pain of her choices. Destiny says she knows her mother isn't well, but she thought she would have something for Paula. That's what I said. She went there with the thought that she would get some answers for her younger sister. Because remember, Destiny knows her mom. But I really think she thought Paula would get an opportunity to see a different mother if she saw Paula. But Paula got the same mama. Baby, when I say Paula seemed unfazed, she seemed unfazed. So I am glad that Paula didn't go in there with her hopes really high, like, oh, this is going to be the second coming, because it wasn't at all. Destiny says she knows her mother isn't well, but she thought that her mom would have something for Paula. Then we hear Rhonda Jo singing a gospel song. Destiny says she remembers that voice singing to her as a little girl. And they showed this picture of Destiny and her brother Terrell. Destiny says her mother has a beautiful voice. Even after all of the hard life that she's lived, she still sings for God. Alan came outside. He thanked Destiny for bringing them together. Paul said he was glad that he got a chance to meet her. And she told Paul she was glad she got a chance to meet him as well. Destiny has a one-on-one with Rhonda Jo. She asked them all because she just talked to Rhonda Jo one-on-one. And babe, when I tell you that one-on-one did not go, I think, like Destiny thought it would. I think she thought that she got her mom away from them, that maybe she could have one more inkling to see a little bit of light. And this is kind of what broke my heart. She told Rhonda Jo that regardless of how they go back and forth, And Rhonda Joe said, you go back and forth. I don't go back and forth with you. Your daddy is crazy. These were her exact words. She reverted everything back to Destiny's dad. Destiny reels her back in. She said, but you're talking to me. You're talking to me. I just want to say this to you. I love you, and I want you to know that. Destiny actually said, I love you twice. The first time she said, I love you, she touched the chair and she didn't say anything. I think she was waiting for Rhonda Joe to respond. And she didn't. Rhonda Joe did not say, I love you back. She did not. And that broke my heart because I really felt like Destiny really wanted to hear that. Not only did she want to hear it, she needed to hear it. Rhonda Joe said, you sure have a funny way of showing it. That was what her mother responded with. You really have a funny way of showing it. Destiny responds with, I can only show it the way I know how. Rhonda Joe tells Destiny to have a blessed day. Be safe going back to Texas. Although Destiny was going back to Alabama. If I live or die, don't worry about me. I put in quotations, baby, Rhonda Joe is a piece of work. Destiny walks off, but she says in a confessional, she says, as an adult, I don't hold any of the pain anymore of my mother letting me be taken away because I've gone through the process of forgiving her. Because as a mother now, I can't imagine not having my baby. Destiny shows empathy because Destiny says empathy has allowed her to forgive Rhonda Joe. When I tell you this episode wore me out, it really wore me out. Just in the thought process of someone, because I can't imagine it. Even though I know that it happens, and it happens probably more often than I'm aware of, or most people are aware of. It really saddens my soul to know that there's a mother somewhere who just really doesn't give a flip about their kid or kids. Because this lady has 8 children and she has lived her life having babies. She didn't abort them, but she left them for adoption or for someone else to take care of. And I really feel like that's heartbreaking. Destiny actually was raised by her. She was raised by her until she turned 4, and the state took her. And I don't know if Granny just couldn't take her, but she ended up with her father, and it probably was the best thing to happen to Destiny Payton. Probably was the best thing to happen to Destiny. That last part when she said that she had forgiven her mom because the empathy that she has caused it to. And she's not only that, she did the work. That's, I think, what we really need to hold on to is that she had gone through the process. I've done the work. As Ayala Van Zant says, do the work. Destiny has done the work to forgive her mother. Her telling her mother, I love you, and not getting a response, that was heartbreaking to me. It was heartbreaking. I love you. Pause. Long pause. I love you. And she still never said it. Sad Baby Doll said, I was so emotional after seeing this. I kept thinking about Keisha Cole and Frankie. Me too. Me too. And her mother reminded me a lot of Frankie. She needed to hear it. Symmetry, definitely she needed to hear her mother say, I love you. Because she probably hasn't heard it since she was a child. Since that day that the cops took her, or whoever took her. She probably haven't heard it. Live For Me said, that's the part that threw me off. Using Destiny's dad as a reason not to be accountable. Definitely. Definitely. I feel so bad for Destiny being that was her mother. Me too. Me too. Because I can't imagine that. Thank you, Lord, for my mother. Thank you for my mother. Me too. That sad baby doll. It took me back to Keisha and Frankie also. That's what all the Unity said. Look at how they turned out. Exactly. I think, again, Destiny's mother also said that there's no telling where. Well, her aunt, I'm sorry, said that if Rhonda Joe had raised them, there was no telling where they would have been. And I'm glad that they all seem like they have a decent lifestyle, a decent life. I'm sure the guilt is eating Rhonda Joe. That's probably why she is on those substances, eating Rhonda Joe up, and that could also contribute to her always staying high on drugs. I pray for all of them. I do too. I do too. I do too. The very fact that she used the typical addict ways of manipulation of saying, your daddy, but it's all about you and your daddy. And then the very fact, don't worry about me if I live or die. What is that to say to your child? What is that to say to your child? Masking the pain, definitely that. I pray for Rhonda Joe that she finds relief from her pain. Relief from her pain. I pray for Destiny that she has continued healing from the pain that her mother has caused her, because the pain is ongoing. Thank God that Destiny was able to walk away with her head up after going through that, because that was pretty severe. It was very, very severe. Then over to the Scotts, watching them go into Pontiac, and listen to Marcel talk about things that shaped them. I really wish they had done a little bit more of a deeper dive into that and could have left Trisha and Ken off altogether, because baby, they didn't add anything to this episode. Was good. I really want to explore more about Daddy Scott. What's his problem? What's his deal? Why did he go to prison? I really want to know more about Daddy Scott and the problem, reason why he was pissed, because I don't think we got to that. But I really am proud of Destiny. I really am proud of Destiny. Shayna says, I kind of need a follow-up on Rhonda Joe. Hopefully someone is keeping an eye on her. When she drove up, she was in the car with her sisters. So I think her sisters, looked like it was Janelle that was there, are probably keeping an eye on her. I'm going to tell you another thing too. If you notice, I don't know if production did this intentionally or they did it accidentally, but at one scene, the aunt, I think it was Jonelle, had she had a Stanley Cup, right? They showed, and then the next episode when they were at the house, she had a Solo cup. So I don't know if they were trying to show us that this family may have some drinking issues. I don't know. But I will say that I have continued prayer for Destiny. Destiny is the reason why Destiny is in Alabama and not in Detroit. It's a reason. It's a reason why she felt like she needed to hang her hat in Alabama and not in Michigan. Dealing with that. I really want to know more about Daddy Scott. I want to know more about Grandmama. I want to know more about Anime Sears. I really want to know more about her. I want to know what was Anime doing to assist or not assist her daughter's children. So on and so forth. Ollie Indy said, I also would like to know more about Daddy Scott. Me too. I think once we get to see these family dynamics, we actually kind of see what the problem actually is. Anywho, you guys, I want to thank you all for coming down here and listening to me run my mouth. Destiny's brother Terrell, may he rest in peace. Her mother, Rhonda Joe, beautiful lady. Beautiful lady. There's a saying that's saying that sin will take you further than you intended to go and keep you longer than you intended to stay. And I believe I'll end on that note. If no one told you today they love you, I love you, and there ain't a thing you can do about it. I pray that you have a good night and that you wake up in the morning refreshed. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.